Hi YouTube and Blip TV. This is Angie the Anti-Theist. So, last night in the blog TV show, the discussion came up about evangelical atheism. Why do I do it? Isn't it the same as what Christians do? Shouldn't we just leave everyone to believe what they want? Why try to deconvert anybody? So here's my response. Becoming an atheist is one of the most defining moments in my life. And it changed my life for the better. Imagine going through your whole life believing something is true. Believing that the sun is pulled by a chariot in the sky. And then all of a sudden at age 25, you find out the truth. That the sun is a bright ball of flaming gas like every other star. That change in perception is huge. And of course, it's a bigger deal than this. My faith was extremely important to me. It was a big, significant part of my life. It was integral. And then it was gone. But my fascination with the subject hasn't gone away. And my belief that what you believe is important hasn't gone away. See, but my reasons have. I'm not trying to save anyone's soul. I'm not trying to save anybody from eternal damnation, because I don't believe in such a wicked concept. But I am trying to save people from hurting their children, from living their lives filled with unnecessary guilt and shame, from holding back my country's progress in science and in math and in history and fucking up our textbooks. And religion isn't something that people just do at home on their own on Sundays. When people hold these beliefs, it impacts their actions, which affect me. So from a purely self-interest perspective, I would prefer for more people to be rational, to use critical thinking skills, to not be religious, to certainly leave their God out of the out of the ballot booth. But they won't do that if they really believe. I think it's funny that so many people say, well, you can't convert a fundamentalist. You can't even talk to those people. I was a fundamentalist. Fundamentalist is who I primarily attempt talking to here on YouTube, because you can change their minds. See, the more important your faith is to you, I think the more the doubts will bother you. The more that God's apparent immorality in the Bible will bother you. I think that the more important you think it is, the more important you'll find whether or not it's true. Maybe the moderate Christian doesn't really care if there's any evidence. It doesn't affect their lives that much, and it's not that central to who they are or how they see themselves. It's just one thing. Whereas for me, and for people who are currently fundamentalists, religion's everything. You can't leave it behind. It's crucial. It's central. It's so big. So when you realize that it's not true, when you realize that all that guilt and shame was for nothing, when you realize that none of your friends are going to spend eternity in hell, when you realize that it matters more what you do than what book you read, when you realize what the Bible actually says, it becomes incredibly important to talk about it, or at least it did for me. It's not for every atheist, and I don't think and I don't say that every atheist should be evangelical, should try to deconvert anyone. If it's not interesting to you, then talk about something that is. And cover it from whatever angle, if you are going to do it, that intrigues you, whether that's the science, the critical thinking, skepticism in general. I know I made a lot of bad choices in my life, and most of those were a result of not using critical thinking skills, not examining claims for their truth value, for accepting things that people said is true, for following leaders blindly, When I use critical thinking, when I think for myself, when I am skeptical, and when I leave God out of the picture, I make better choices and I have a better life. My kid and I are happy. We're happy. And we don't have God, and we don't need God. And I think that's huge, to just realize that you don't actually need God. People say that religion brings comfort. Even sometimes people who don't believe, they'll say, well, maybe, if it gives them comfort, you should just let them hold on to their delusion. What's wrong with a comfortable delusion, right? Everything. And besides that, I don't think religion does bring comfort. I mean, I remember the sense that, this too shall pass, God's got a plan, especially when you're going through a trial, the idea that, even if you can't see it right now, God is going to work everything for the good of those who love him, so it's all going to turn out okay in the end, and it's all good, even if you don't understand it. And yes, I can see the comfort in that idea. I remember the comfort in that idea. But it also came along with guilt, shame, self-hatred, worry about souls, and stress, worrying about trying to save everybody on the planet, and guilt that I wasn't doing enough, and or that I wasn't doing this rule or that rule, or tithing as much as I could, or God, I wasted so much money giving it to the church. And that's what I want to save people from. Guilt, shame, wasting their money, making bad lifestyle choices because they don't know how to examine things. And hey, if the Bible says it, it must be true, right? So yeah, I'm an evangelical atheist, and I'm cool with that. In the last year since I started blogging, I've had 6 people deconvert from religion. 2 people based on just one of my YouTube videos, Sunday school. I'm going to go back and watch that video a few times, see what I can learn from it to try to do more of in future videos. Because I love the idea of helping people wake up. I'm extremely grateful to the guy that made the YouTube video that deconverted me. Why wouldn't I want to pass that on to somebody else? So everybody have a great, godless day. Take care of yourselves. Peace.